Hello, everyone. Welcome to Christian Weather Broadcasting. Repent and put your faith in Jesus because only He can save you from hell. If you'd like to know more, check out the gospel message in the description. This is going to be a live stream that will update every 30 minutes. I'll try to update it every 30 minutes with the latest on Hurricane Idalia. Let's go to our first update. Let's go to the National Hurricane Center and see if we have any updates on the strength of Hurricane Idalia. Alrighty. Sustained wind of 39 miles per hour, gust to 63, was recently reported at an airport in Valdosta, Georgia. An unofficial automated observing site at Madison High School in Madison, Florida, reported a wind gust to 67 miles per hour. The strength of this storm is now 964 millibars. It is weakened to 105 mile an hour sustained wind, so it is now still a Category 2, still weakening storm. Let me go to the satellite imagery here. You can see that it is going to be moving into Georgia. Here's the storm itself. You can see some areas where there's convection and cold cloud tops in the storm. Well, there's cold cloud tops in the storm, which means those are the areas where you're going to see that strong the strong possibility of storms. And right now, for northeast Florida, winds should be starting to pick up. Nothing too extreme at all, but a little more blustery conditions than earlier as that storm is moving by. The darker areas on this map are the areas where to expect the stronger storm. So those dark areas with some levels of pink, that is where the strong storms are. And those strong winds right now are going to be moving into Georgia. So if you live in Georgia, start expecting some strong winds and rain. Let's go to our tracks here. You can see bringing it through Georgia out of either South Carolina or North Carolina. Seems like it may ride the coast there. Let's go to the National Hurricane Center. Peak surge luckily didn't get this high, but it still went high enough to mess with the first floors of homes. Wind speed probabilities extending all the way from Florida to South Carolina, 90% chance plus, and portions of Georgia, South Georgia, also have a high percent chance of those rainfall totals. We have around near Tallahassee 6 to 10 inches up all the way through basically the middle part of South Carolina and out into North Carolina. The possibility of 6 to 10 inches throughout the middle part of South Carolina and stuff. We have around 4 to 6 inches of rain, so there is a flash flooding potential with that. As you can see, Tallahassee extending all the way up to Hatteras, North Carolina, about a moderate 40% chance of flash flooding. Here's our wind history. You can see winds are, according to this, entering Georgia, but I believe they are already entered Georgia based on the satellite imagery. Alrighty, everybody, I'm going to go to a live look here soon. And we are going to keep that, or I'm going to keep that there for you guys, the live look. And I'll keep that there until the next update, so you guys can watch the clouds moving and maybe see some of the wind in the trees. Alrighty, everybody, let me go to that. There you go. There is your live look. Sorry about that. Alrighty, everybody. That I will keep there so you can see the conditions going on currently. Right now there are some clouds, and there have been a few wind gusts, nothing too extreme. But I'm going to leave this up here so you can watch it, and I'll be back for the 11 o'clock update. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Right now, it is time for the 11 o'clock update on Christian weather broadcasting. Repent and put your faith in Jesus, because only He can save you from hell. If you'd like to know more, check out the gospel message in the description. Alrighty. So, it is time for the 11 o'clock update on Hurricane Idalia. Let's go to the beginning of the National Hurricane Center page. Idalia is now at 90 miles per hour, Category 1 hurricane, moving at 20 miles per hour, 971 millibars. So it is not a Category 2 hurricane anymore. It is a Category 1 hurricane now. Here is the key messages. You can read through those if you'd like. I already read through them not too long ago earlier on in this stream, so I think you could probably rewind on that. So, because we have a new update, we have a new cone, it is still forecast to stay a hurricane, look at this, all the way until the border of Georgia and South Carolina. Remember, it is moving very fast now. It is crossing over the border right now of Georgia and South Carolina. Hurricane warnings are still in effect for the areas where this thing moved through. You can still see a tropical storm wind field on that. For people on the outer edges of the tropical storm winds field, expect some blustery conditions, but nothing, I would say, too major unless there's storm bands coming through. You can see hurricane warning in effect for portions of Georgia and South Carolina, hurricane watch extended for other areas now. And we're expecting this thing to go past Bermuda now, so it looks like it may pass close to Bermuda as a tropical storm. Let's go on our forecast track line. So I wouldn't expect major effects for Bermuda, but we should keep an eye on that. Let's go to our wind speed probabilities next. As you can see, 90% chance for a large part of Florida, parts of Georgia, and up to South Carolina of tropical storm force winds. Even all the way up to North Carolina, you guys could experience some level of tropical storm force winds. Bermuda is not expected for tropical storm force winds right now, but I would expect in the forecast rain for Bermuda. So if you live in Bermuda, be prepared for some rainy weather conditions to come to you. Let's see, by timing. By next Sunday, expect rainy weather conditions in Bermuda. Alrighty, everybody, peak surge, 7 to 11 feet now. It has dropped. We saw in Cedar Key, we saw that 6.9 feet was the peak storm surge. Alrighty, everybody, let's move on to our satellite loop of Idalia. You can see there are still areas of convection, of cold cloud tops in this thing. It doesn't have an eye anymore, that's very obvious. But we still have convection in it. Luckily, what is good news is that the strong winds of this hurricane are staying aloft and not exactly coming down. If you're in the path of this, still expect some blustery, tropical weather conditions, and gusty winds. So do not go outside if you live in the path of this thing, because I would still forecast trees down and stuff like that. So do not go outside. But it won't, hopefully, be as bad as it could be. But please do not go outside. Let's take a look at our tracks here, see if they have updated any. It doesn't look like they have. It's going to be moving through Georgia, up through South Carolina, and all the way out into the ocean, and just, luckily it's not going to be looping around according to this latest forecast. Let's take a look at, our forecast models. I'll bring you up to the GFS. The GFS model is forecasting this to continue to weaken, and will be moving out over the ocean and then continue to weaken. But it looks like it may actually, let's see here, I'm going to move us to a different region so we can get a little better view of the storm and what it's going to do. After it moves into the ocean, and it may actually intensify, again according to the GFS, and then run up through Canada, but I don't think it will cause anything very bad. Blustery conditions for sure, but nothing extremely bad. Let's go to our Euro model and see what it is forecasting. The Euro is forecasting it to go over the ocean and just steadily stay at around 1,000 millibars. Let's go to our H-Wharf model, which I've heard is good for intensity forecast. The H-Wharf is forecasting this to go over the ocean and just continue around 1,003 millibars, and then you can see the storms kind of get separated from the center low there. So luckily, only the GFS is forecasting some level of re-intensifying, so it doesn't seem like anything too bad. So luckily, that is good as far as it going back out in the ocean. It doesn't seem that we'll see it re-intensify, which is very, very good. Let's go to Hurricane Idalia again, and I'll put on True Color so you can see what it actually looks like. There it is, moving over land now as a Category 1 hurricane. So that is what we're seeing right now. As far as what I've been seeing personally, nothing too bad. A few tiny wind gusts. I do think there was either a branch or a pine tree that fell here, and I don't know how that happened because the winds here have not been strong enough to be conducive for pine tree falling, but I just heard a loud thump, and it looked like pieces of branch were falling. So either it was a branch or pine tree, I don't know. Either way, it didn't seem like the wind was strong enough for that to happen. But that is what has happened here. I'm going to bring you back to another live look, and then I will be back at 11:30 for the next update on Hurricane Idalia. There you go. There is your live look right now. You're looking outside. You can maybe see some wind blowing in the pine trees out there. Looks like birds flying in the distance. And there's some clouds up here. And tropical storm conditions are forecast to come here around 12 something in the afternoon. So according to the Weather Channel, it said tropical storm conditions likely. We will see if that happens. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will be back at 11:30. Hello everyone, I'm back a little early. I want to apologize for making a mistake. I did not go to the graphics here, so y'all couldn't see anything. Sorry about that. I will go through these graphics just quickly once again so you can see what is going on. And again, that was my mistake. I did not switch the scene. So here we go. You can see that this is a Category 1 hurricane moving on inland. Right there you can see some areas of of cold cloud tops, meaning intensification. Here's the tracks for it. There's that satellite again. You can see, luckily, that storm surge isn't bad. Rainfall potentials, very important here. And wind speed probability is 90% chance throughout that area. So again, I apologize about that. That was a mistake on my end. I did not mean to have that happen. Sorry you saw this scene for a while I was talking. Anyway, I will be back at 11:30. And now back to your live weather out there. Here we go. There we go. Now you can watch this and see what happens in the next 20 or so minutes. I'll be back at 11:30. Hello and welcome back to Christian Weather Broadcasting. Today, it is time for the 11:30 update. This is the 11:30 update on Christian Weather Broadcasting. Repent and put your faith in Jesus, because only He can save you from hell. And if you'd like to know more, check the gospel message in the description. Alrighty, 11 o'clock update, here it comes. Let's see if we have any news from the National Hurricane Center. It does not seem that we have any new news from the NHC based on the intensity of Idalia. Right now, 90-mile-an-hour hurricane, 971 millibars, moving at 20 miles per hour. I believe we have some new key messages as of 11 a.m., so let's read through these. Significant impacts from storm surge will continue along the Gulf Coast of Florida within the storm surge warning through this evening. Dangerous storm surge is also expected along the southeastern U.S. coast within the storm surge warning area tonight and Thursday. Residents in these areas should follow any advice given by local officials. Damaging hurricane-force winds will occur to the where the core of Idalia moves across southern Georgia and southern South Carolina within the hurricane warning area through this evening. And hold on here. I made the same mistake again. Anyway, let's okay, now you can see my screen. So, damaging hurricane force winds will occur where the core of Idalia moves across southern Georgia and southern South Carolina within the hurricane warning area through this evening. Residents in these areas should be prepared for long-duration power outages. Strong winds are also expected to spread northeastward across South Carolina and North Carolina through Thursday within the tropical storm warning area. Areas of flash urban and moderate river flooding with considerable impacts are expected from portions of North Florida through central Georgia and South Carolina, through eastern North Carolina into Thursday. Let's go to our peak surge forecast. You can see 7 to 11 feet. In Cedar Key, I heard that they got up to 6.9 feet. So very, very high. Let's take a look at our flash flooding potential. Extending from Tallahassee all the way up to Hatteras, we have a moderate, at least 40% chance of flash flooding. Rainfall potential, certain areas in Florida experiencing 6 to 10 inches, especially inland areas. Charleston will be getting their rain now based on where the storm is located, and getting their peak wind at about peak rain at 2 to 4 inches. You can see for a large portion now of Central Florida into North Florida and Northeast Florida, tropical storm force wind expectations at 90% chance. Those 90% chances moving into around Charleston. Let's take a look at our wind history. You can see that hurricane force wind is now moving into Georgia. Yes, it is still a hurricane, and it is forecast to remain a hurricane until it gets to the border of South Carolina and Georgia. Let's refresh this page. Here's our current satellite loop on Hurricane Idalia. You can see there's still areas of cold cloud tops in the storm, so it is still and because it's moving fast, it's not weakening incredibly quickly. And wherever those cold cloud tops are, meaning the most intense storms, if you live in those areas, start expecting some strong weather now. So if you live in the areas where where those dark colors are, and possibly the red as well, expect thunderstorm activity soon. And it still seems that there's storm activity down towards South Florida. You can see those storms bubbling up down there. So still expect some possibility of storms down there as well. Here's our latest here's the spaghetti models. You can see that they're moving out into the ocean. Luckily, we do not see that loop now. In the last update, I went over the models, and the GFS is the one model out of the 3 we looked at that is forecasting re-intensity out in the ocean, but hopefully that will not be the case. But right now we need to watch more closely on the effects for land. Alrighty, I'm going to go over specific regions. If you live in the area where this storm made landfall, those storm conditions are going to be leaving are leaving you currently as of now, and I would expect by evening tonight that it will be nice there, though that doesn't mean the storm surge will be out of there. We'll probably see it recede throughout the day, but if there's storm surge outside your house, do not go out in it because there's no telling how deep it really is where you are. If you live in North Florida right now, expect those blustery conditions as this storm moves through. Hold on, let me refresh this. Expect those blustery conditions as the storm moves through, because you can see for portions of North Florida there is still some cold cloud tops, meaning that there is storms in that area. So do expect some tropical weather through that area. And now if you're living in Georgia, I believe Valdosta is getting hit right now. Expect those tropical weather conditions, and please be safe in those areas. Stay away from trees and do not go outside. For areas of Jacksonville, extending down to Orlando, for more Jacksonville, expect blustery conditions, nothing too extreme. Also expect the possibility of some slight rain showers every now and then, and as far down as Orlando, expect maybe some scattered thunderstorms throughout the day, but nothing too extreme. Alrighty, everybody, this has been the 11:30 update on Hurricane Idalia. I will be back at 12. Alrighty, everybody, thank you for watching. Again, I will be back at 12, and now I'll bring you for another live look outside. Alrighty, everybody, another live look now. You can see some sprinkles on the window. I don't know if you can see that. There went a butterfly or a bird. I don't know if you can see the sprinkles on the window on your screen, but yes, there's a little bit of sprinkles, so a little bit of rain. Right now it looks like the winds may have calmed down a bit, but just every now and then a little bit of windy conditions, but nothing out of the ordinary. I think it may be sprinkling right now. Yep, it's starting to rain. So, it is starting to rain right now. It seems like some rain is coming through. That is your current look from now, and I'll leave this up, and then I will be back at 12 o'clock. Again, that's 12 o'clock for the 12 o'clock update. Hello everyone, welcome. This is Christian Weather Broadcasting. I'm back here a little early. This is for the 12 o'clock update. As you can see, there are some clouds out there, and we did get a little bit of rain. Not too much, but enough to get it wet outside. You can see there are some clouds back there, and it is supposed to rain a little more, but not too much. As you can see, barely any wind. Just a little bit of the breeze and the treetops up there. So that is going on here right now. Let's get into our 12 o'clock update. Alrighty, everybody, welcome to Christian Weather Broadcasting. Repent and put your faith in Jesus, because only He can save you from hell. If you'd like to know more, check the gospel message in the description. Alrighty, welcome to the 12 o'clock update. This will be the last update of this stream, and then I'll be ending it. Let's go see our satellite imagery first. I'm going to refresh it. Alrighty, currently you can still see there are some areas with cold cloud tops, meaning intense storms. So where are these intense storms moving? Moving further inland to Georgia. So if you're in Georgia, be prepared now for some tropical weather. I believe in Valdosta, Georgia, there is a there is a flash flood warning, or so I believe they're expecting catastrophic flash flooding according to that warning. So, as far down as southern Florida, expect some spotty thunderstorms throughout today, maybe some scattered showers. For the Jacksonville, Northeast Florida area, expect some spotty showers and thunderstorms as well. For the area that was part of where the landfall came, in that Big Bend area, expect maybe the last bit of showers and clouds, but those look like they're going to be moving out for your area. For Georgia and portions of Florida still, around Tallahassee, expect tropical weather conditions, and also expect storms to be moving further inland now. Alrighty, everybody, let's go to the National Hurricane Center for Idalia, and let's see if we have any new update yet. It's at 90 miles per hour now, and yes, we do have an update. The pressure is down to 975 millibars, 85 mile per hour sustained winds with higher gusts. A sustained wind of 43 miles per hour with a wind gust of 56 was recently reported at Moody Air Force Base in southern Georgia. So if you're in southern Georgia, get ready for some tropical storm conditions. Luckily, with this storm, what has happened is that the wind is staying aloft, so it's not coming down to the ground, and that's really helpful to keeping people safe. So right now, expect some blustery conditions. Do not go outside, because 56 gust is enough to knock down trees, and be prepared to deal with the possibility of flash flooding. And we now have a minimum central pressure of 975 millibars, 85 miles per hour. That is the latest for this storm. Significant impacts from surge will continue along the Gulf Coast of Florida within the storm surge warning through this evening. Dangerous storm surge is also expected along the southeastern U.S. coast within the storm surge warning area tonight and Thursday. Residents in these areas should follow any advice given by local officials. Damaging hurricane-force winds will occur where the core of Idalia moves across southern Georgia and southern South Carolina within the hurricane warning area through this evening. Residents in these areas should be prepared for long-duration power outages. Strong winds are also expected to spread northeastward across South Carolina and North Carolina through Thursday within the tropical storm warning area. Areas of flash, urban, and moderate river flooding with considerable impacts are expected from portions of North Carolina through central Georgia and South Carolina, through eastern North Carolina into Thursday. Let's take a look at those rainfall potentials. As you can see, near Tallahassee, you could experience 4 to 6, maybe 6 to 10 inches of rain up in the Throughout portions of Georgia, you could experience 4 to 6, 6 to 10 inches in some places, and up more in the middle of South Carolina, around 6 to 10 inches of rain, and heading out to Raleigh, or excuse me, not Raleigh, around Hatteras area, you could also experience 6 to 10 inches of rain. So do expect some rain for those areas. Already flash flooding potential, marginal at least 5% in Jacksonville, extending from Tallahassee all the way up to Wilmington. There is a moderate, at least 40% chance of flash flooding, and from the Panhandle all the way up to around Raleigh-Durham area, and extending down from Tampa Bay all the way up to around Charleston, South Carolina, there's a slight, at least 15% chance of flash flooding. And the good thing with Charleston is it seems that this storm is moving fast and Charleston won't get as much rain, so hopefully not as bad of flooding. Let's take a look at our peak surge. Actually 3 to 5 feet now, going up to around the South Santee River, so yes, we may probably see some flooding in Charleston with that kind of surge. St. Catharines Sound down to the mouth of the St. Mary's River, 2 to 4 feet of surge, and all the way down to Flagler-Volusia County line, 1 to 3 feet of surge, 7 to 11 feet of surge, and near from Keaton Beach down to Yankeetown, 3 to 5 feet, Ocala River, 5 to 8 feet from Yankeetown to Enclote River, and Tampa Bay, 3 to 5 feet, Charlotte Harbor, 2 to 4 feet, 1 to 3 feet, East Cape Sable. In this area where there's 7 to 11 feet, in Cedar Key, as I've said a couple times, 6.9 feet was the top storm surge, and that is decreasing. And according to Jim Cantori, maybe it'll be out by the evening, but do not step in that water. It is not safe. You do not know what is in that water. Let's take a look at our storm surge inundation. As you can see, there are areas where it is inundating. Hopefully all of you are safe. So, let's see here. 90% chance of tropical storm force winds extending from Florida into South Carolina, as you can see. And also, hurricane wind force probability has decreased. Portions of Georgia are still at a 50 to 60% chance, and other portions of Georgia are at a 30 to 40% chance. Based on the fact that we're not seeing hurricane wind conditions, we may not, though there is, I would say, a possibility for a gust that may go into hurricane force wind. Alrighty, everybody, please stay safe. Thank you for watching. This has been the Christian Weather Broadcasting Idalia live stream. Be ready for possibly another update later today on Hurricane Idalia, which will probably be a tropical storm or maybe a low-end hurricane by the next update. Thank you for watching. This has been